Well, hello there, Gemini. It is so good to see you again. I'm Mary Sue. I'm so grateful that you're here. Today, we are doing your May General Tarot reading. So we'll take a look at the overall energies with the Oracle cards, and then we'll move to the Tarot for more details about any obstacles on your path or advice that Spirit has for you. And this reading is good for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So if the message doesn't resonate for you, you may want to check out one of your other signs to see if there's a message there for you. All right, so let's get into your reading. Let's see what we have on the horizon for you. Seahorse Spirit, watch and wait, and navigating by the stars, follow your bliss. Okay, so the first message that I'm getting here is that you could be trying to move forward a little bit too quickly, Gemini. That source energy is coming in, your air energy. There's this energy here where you are using your mind, you are using your ego, your fears perhaps. And it could be a fear that time is passing by too quickly, that you're not enjoying life enough, which is possible. It's almost this energy where you're kind of maybe feeling a little bit scattered, okay, a little bit frustrated that you aren't moving forward more quickly. It's almost like you're putting this pressure on yourself. I really don't feel like it's coming from someone else. I think it's really this kind of internal, almost like a clock going off in your head, and you're kind of like, I'm running out of time. And you could even feel like your life just isn't where it's supposed to be. You're not feeling blissful about your life, right? You're working really hard, but it feels as if you're taking one step forward, two steps back. Okay, so the message here is that, you could be just making decisions or busying yourself with things that really are not bringing you the joy, that aren't meant to be on your path, that aren't really and truly leading you where it is that you want to go. You may not recognize that there is something here about just kind of being still, listening to your internal self, right? Going into your heart. I feel like your ego or your mind, this sense that time is running out, or there isn't enough money or enough love or something. It's almost like a little bit of a tad bit of desperation, right? And so it's kind of like, okay, I have to keep working really hard and then I'll get there. But here's the thing. They're asking you, no, wait a minute. Just stop. Just rest for a minute. Tap back into what your heart truly is wanting. Follow your bliss. I feel like you may have been trying to follow your bliss. Oh, this is interesting. You may have been trying to follow your bliss. It wasn't coming in quickly enough, or it wasn't looking the way that you expected it to. And now you could have even gone back to a way of thinking, of trying to get things to work based on past experiences that did work. Yeah. So it's almost like you're going back to trying to get something to work based on how you found success in the past. But let's admit here for a minute, right? Pluto was in Capricorn from 2008 to March of 2023. Okay, so not even really about a month ago. So we're still kind of toying with that mindset that we have to work really hard. We have to acquire certain things. We have to do certain things. We have to be certain ways, right? And I feel like you're embracing this new Aquarian energy that came into play just last month and will be with us for the next 20 years. But I feel like you've kind of embraced this idea of, no, I don't have to follow everybody else's stars. I have to follow my stars. I have to follow my path. My path is not the same as everyone else's. But Gemini, let's face it, that is difficult. It is difficult to switch our mindset from following the rules that we grew up with, that we've been conditioned with from our family, from society, from, our culture. and suddenly be thrown into this new energy of, oh, I'm going to do it my way. I love that song by Liberace, or he sang it. I don't know if he wrote it, but he did used to sing it. And it's kind of like, yeah, it's time to do it your way. But that takes a little bit of time. You kind of can't turn from one way of life or thinking about life to a new way without just kind of like giving yourself this little bit of reset and really connecting your heart to this new path or this new way of thinking. It does not mean that you're throwing everything out, okay? They're also flashing someone new is coming. I feel like there may be somebody new. It's kind of interesting because I think Aries had a similar message here, that there was somebody that was going to join you on the path for a little bit to help you through this transition of thinking about things in that Capricornian way and now thinking about them in the Aquarian way. And I know so many people have been asking, why do I keep talking about Pluto in 2008? The reason is that this is a big transit. This is a really big transit. And I'll put the link to that video at the end of this video, because it really is a big transit. It's been a big mind shift. And it is not easy to go through these big Pluto transitions. They are Scorpion energy. They are very big transformations that we have in our life. And it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, we can say that the planets align in a certain way on a certain day, but that there's still that energy of that Capricornian energy is still kind of playing out until next year. In fact, I think Pluto goes retrograde May 1st. Okay. So it's going to bounce back and forth between Capricorn and Aquarius, which is like two polar opposites. And in the meantime, our energy is going to be kind of like ping-ponging back and forth. But just recognizing, okay, wait a minute. I've got it. I'm staying with my heart, listening to my stars, right? Listening to your guidance, navigating, using your compass and not the compass of other people. You know, understanding that the way the stars are aligned for you is not exactly the same way that they are aligned for other people. It doesn't mean one way is better than the other. Right? It's about embracing your purpose. It's about embracing your journey and saying, okay, this is the way I'm going. And I'm good with that, and not comparing, not allowing your ego to help you compare to what other people have going on. Yeah, this is beautiful energy. Look at what is on the bottom. Okay, Gemini, I'm getting goosebumps. Trust in divine purpose. It says, this experience has divine meaning. Healing will come. Know that you are on a path of growth. And, you know, that is exactly why we're here. We are here to encompass our purpose and to grow. And so I feel like what you are going through right now is kind of like a shedding of that Capricornian energy, a shedding of the conditioning that you have had for a very long time. This is amazing. Yeah, it's stepping into, oh my gosh, stepping into this whole new mindset that helps you to reattach to who you are, to reconnect to who you are, your true self. The true love card is really about being able to look in the mirror and loving every single aspect of yourself. The problem is that when we allow the ego, okay, to rule our decisions, to rule our lives, right? To call the shots instead of listening to our heart and following the stars that are aligned for us, right? The problem is that when we look in the mirror, even if we start out saying, oh my goodness, Gemini, you know, oh, I just love, you know, your creativity, your project is progressing so well. Your ego comes in and it starts comparing what you have gotten done or where you are now to where everybody else is. But that isn't your journey. Your journey isn't to be compared. It's not a competition. We're all here individually to do our own work, to do our own growth, and to hopefully connect to other people on the planet and share our gifts and love and light with them. And it's a beautiful time. This Aquarian energy is just so beautiful. Aquarius is all about, healing the collective, healing the earth, stepping into an energy of really seeing the love and the light in other people, instead of the ego's way of trying to size ourselves up to what everybody else is doing. It's about, okay, that's their journey. This is my journey. I'm not going to compare my journey to anyone else. And look at this. They're showing me the sun. This is kind of like what is going to help you to step into your bliss, to incorporate your bliss, what brings you happiness and joy. Really quieting your mind and stepping into your heart. What are the things that really bring you joy in your life? And then, are you spending time and energy on those? Or are you scattered and trying to spend time and energy on things that really and truly are not aligned with your bliss, with what your heart truly desires? Really sit down, write the top 3 things that really bring you joy in your life. And then ask yourself, are you spending the majority of your day spending time and energy on those 3 things, right? There's probably, for me, it would be my connections, right? To the people in my life and to you, right? It's kind of, okay, my connections are really important to me. And then asking yourself, okay, are you spending time and energy helping those connections to grow, right? Bringing love and light to your connections, seeing things in a loving way. Capricorn is very much that competitive edge, right? Getting on the top of the ladder or whatever. And we have been conditioned by that. 15 years of living in that, right? Look, you're seeing things in a new light. You're going forward into a new chapter. And I feel like a lot of you are probably feeling that way. Yes. Oh my goodness. And look at, oh my gosh. You're stepping into your own power when you recognize, okay, it's really and truly recognizing that your path is not like any other path. Your path is individual. The King of Wands, the King of Wands is somebody that embraces that knows that their path is the right path for them. And it's not about, your path, as long as you're doing what you're doing in true love and light for yourself and not trying to hurt anybody else, right? The universe will back you. It's about stepping into that and understanding, oh my goodness, this is why I am here. This is what brings me joy. This is what brings me bliss. I'm going to spend my time and energy doing those things. And it doesn't mean that, you have to change your whole life. It's about changing your mindset about the things that are in your life already. And then asking yourself, okay, if I change my mindset and I look for the love in the things that are already in my life, and if they're still not blissful to me, right, then I'll make a change. I feel like the first thing here, as we're going from this time period where Capricorn and Pluto's bebopping between Capricorn and Aquarius, it really is about kind of grounding yourself and just spending time seeing the joy in the things that you already have in your life, right? Whether that's your job, your relationships, your home, your activities, getting out of that Capricorn, practicing getting out of that Capricorn energy of dissecting, judging everything that we have in our life, right? And it's just look for the joy in it. See, is there any joy? And if there's really no joy, then it is time to allow it to leave. But I feel like there's also been, yes, because look, you have temperance on the bottom, right? It's kind of like, I feel like we kind of have gotten into this energy. Well, if it doesn't bring me joy, I'm letting it go. But are you looking for the joy in it? Are you looking for the love in that relationship? Or are you focusing? Are you allowing your ego to focus on what isn't good about it? Or is your heart allowing you to see the love, the light, the joy, the happiness in your relationships and the objects that are in your life? And then asking yourself, am I able to live in my purpose? Am I able to share my gifts, my love, my joy with others through the work that I'm doing? And if you're not, then yes, it is time to make a change. But I feel like we've kind of gotten into this, and I'll be the first one to admit it. Just clearing out everything, right? But asking yourself first, is this really something I want to let go of? Or is my ego just kind of like, because I think especially with Capricorn, that Capricorn energy, we really did get kind of into allowing a lot of things to leave, but not asking ourselves, is there anything here for me? Is there any joy still in this? What brought me to this? And is there something to salvage? Because here's your present energy. This is a blessing in disguise. Be patient and have faith that your angels have the situation under control. What will come is far better than you dared to dream. It's worth watching and waiting. It's not about tossing everything out at this time. It's about really staying with it and asking yourself, now, if it's truly toxic or abusive, yes, please leave. Okay. But if it's just this energy of getting rid of things, okay, because Pluto kind of pulls that up in us, but it's also about asking yourself, what's good here? What do I see here that brings me joy? Is there any joy in this relationship? Is there any joy in this job? Is there any joy in these objects that I have? And really and truly putting a little effort into that, because through that, you are going to get clarity about what your path is about. A lot of things that come into our life, we can kind of grow above, and it's time to release them. But I feel like there is something here for the rest of 2023 about really taking a look at what's in our life and asking ourselves what joy, focusing on the joy of what we already have before we go searching for something new. Beautiful message, because here's your area of resistance, your obstacle. Put your creative energy into action. Archangel Gabriel joins me to spark your creativity, help you communicate your vision, and motivate you to create something beautiful. Once again, it's about focusing on what brings you joy and doing more of it instead of looking at things. It's just a shift in the mindset. Instead of asking yourself, what do I have to get rid of? It's almost like you have to get into this energy of seeing the joy of what you already have. Yeah. And then you have professional assistance and 9 of Pentacles. I feel like for some of you, there is somebody that may come onto your path to help you to go the 9 of Pentacles is really about freedom. Okay, individuality, embracing, look at how happy she is there, right? Embracing your work, embracing what you have, embracing the animals, the connections that you have in your life, but it's about doing it your own way. And for some of you, you may actually seek out some professional assistance or have somebody coming onto your path because you had someone new. Oh, I thought you had someone new is coming. You did have that on the bottom. I feel like there's this energy where I feel like somebody's coming in to help you to see how you can walk your own path. Doesn't mean you're going to be by yourself, but pulling yourself away from what other people have wanted for you or what you have been conditioned to think that you need for yourself, right? Or that who you're supposed to be. It's really about embracing that individuality. Wow. Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. This is just so beautiful. I do feel like for some of you, you may be seeking out some type of a coach or just a support group, people that actually feel the same way that you do. It could even be just a good friend or something like that you're kind of like, hey, let's just go on this journey. It's kind of reminding me, I got this idea the other day about starting something new, like a 30-day challenge in May. And I think I may do that because I feel like there is something about having other people that are kind of embracing their bliss, right? Going in this new direction, seeking what is good for them and not comparing it to what everybody else has. just recognizing this is what brings me joy. And that it doesn't have to bring anybody else joy, right? As long as you're not hurting anybody else, it's about seeking out your own joy. It is about really having the courage to look at what it is that you value. That is so hard because we have been conditioned to truly believe that we don't have our own internal knowing, wisdom, right? That we have to ask society, what job should I have? We need to ask our parents, who should I marry, right? We ask the external world what is best for us instead of listening to who we are and going within and knowing, wait a minute, this is what's good for me. And of course, that may change over time as we grow, as we evolve, right? But that's okay. It's about having the courage to go your way, to say, okay, I'm going to try this new thing and I'm going to stick with it. I think there is something about commitment. And then look, Page of Wands, going out in a new direction, being inspired and motivated to not follow everybody else's path or what other people think that you should be doing. Kind of like, wait a minute, this is what brings me joy. And this is the direction that I want to go in. I think this is your area of resistance. I think this is why they're saying watch and wait, because I feel like you're getting a lot of downloads. You're looking at things in a different way. You may be even internally frustrated with your life at this time. And it's because your creative energy is trying to come up so that you can create a life that is more in alignment with what your heart is truly desiring. So let's take a look at what your advice is. Look at this, discovery. I think you're discovering that golden nugget, what makes you special, what makes you an individual. Understanding you don't have to fit in with everybody else, Gemini, right? You are a golden nugget all by yourself. You have such a shining love and light within you. It's time to shine that light. It's time to say, okay, wait a minute. I love myself for who I am and who I'm wanting to be, for my gifts, how I want to share those. My journey is different than everybody else's, and I'm good with that. But you have to first kind of discover within yourself what that is. I think for a lot of us, right, we have been conditioned to believe that, oh, my bliss is fill in the blank. It doesn't matter. That's kind of been given to us by society, our family, our cultures, whatever. And it's really, this energy right now is about really experimenting, going within to reconnect to what your heart truly desires. And you have angels of healing are with you. A time of healing is about to bless your life. Accept Archangel Raphael's emerald green light while I enhance your strength. And that is all about your heart chakra. Healing what your heart really and truly wants. Listening to your heart. Page of Cups, and giving it those little dribs and drabbles at the beginning and seeing, okay, following your bliss is all about doing something that you feel kind of called to do. A little thing. It could be planting flowers in your garden. It could be making some new dish for dinner, some yummy meal that you've been wanting to try. It doesn't matter. It can be something really small, but connecting to the bliss, the joy while you're doing it, and not allowing the ego to start comparing it. Okay, you make a new dish for dinner and then your ego goes right into comparing it to all the other dishes that you've had, or perhaps, a similar dish that you had at somebody else's house or in a restaurant. Right? It just like goes into that comparing, judging mentality. And it's kind of like, no, I really enjoyed making this. I savored the smells, the aroma in the kitchen, right? I enjoyed cutting up the pieces of fruit, right? Or, vegetables or meat or whatever you're cooking, right? I enjoyed preparing them to cook. Eating, setting the table. How many of us are actually sitting at a table with nice dishes and maybe candlelight or something like that, soft music playing in the background? How often do we savor those things in our life? We're rushing. Okay, we're rushing. And I feel like, Gemini, you are being called to be a leader. The King of Wands is a leader. understanding you are turning the gears. You are bringing in a whole new way of thinking about the world by just inspiring other people by the way you live. It's not like you have to go out and tell everybody how to do it, because everybody's path is going to be different. But it is about inspiring other people by saying, you know what, we can think about this in a different way. And just inspiring people by the way that you choose to live. Yeah, beautiful energy. Actually, I'm going to think about that, because I am one of these people, oh, it's dinner time and I just throw something together. And I was thinking about that the other day. I never really kind of enjoy my meals, right? It's kind of like, sitting down and really kind of savoring the process of preparing the food that we eat that nourishes our body and fuels us for energy, right? Enjoying that process, and then enjoying the process of actually eating it and trying to hit all five senses with that, having different textures, having different aromas, having soft music playing, candlelight, right? It's all about the whole process. I would encourage you, try to do that, and try to do it at least once a week if you can't do it every night, right? It's kind of like, those are the little things that we give to ourselves to help us tap back into this idea of loving ourselves, taking good care of ourselves, of our spirit, but also about following our bliss, listening intently to what our heart is calling us to do. Wow. I mean, it really, to me, these next 20 years are just... I am very excited about it because I really feel like after, that Capricornian era, it's such a breath of fresh air to not feel like you have to go with the pack, right? That you can go your own way and still be accepted, right? In society. It's not about hermiting yourself. It's about living your true self, your authentic self, but also having connections and allowing those people, right, to also be connected to their hearts and following their bliss, right? That's the beautiful thing about it. Oh my gosh. And look at this, and the Page of Cups and the Lovers. Oh my goodness. This is just such beautiful energy, because I think when you can allow yourself to switch your mind here, you get inspired. There's like you have something new to offer to the world. I think it's your energy, your joy, your bliss. You're kind of sharing it with the world. Once again, it's not like you have to go teach people how to do it. Some of you may choose to. I think you're inspiring other people just by stepping into this energy. I feel like, especially if you have a lot of Aries in your chart, you could be really like a starseed or some leader that is helping other people to step into this new Aquarian energy. And then, you have the Page of Cups, the King of Pentacles, finding the stability, financial stability, wealth, abundance in your life, because you are following your bliss. You're not trying to just follow the pack, I think the other thing is that I love about Aquarian energy, it's not just about you. Like Capricorn energy, it really was about, what do I get out of this, right? Aquarian energy is, how can I share what I have? The King of Pentacles is very generous, understanding that you have gifts and talents and your love and your light are with you in order to share with others. So it's no longer that Capricorn energy of it's all for me, right? It's about, how can I use my gifts and talents to help others, to share it with others, right? It's about spreading the joy, spreading your bliss, and understanding that you're making choices really that are based on your heart, but it's also about your connections. I really feel like you have new connections that are coming in that are really going to help you on this journey. Okay, so let's go to your soul truth card for some final advice. Wow, Gemini, what a big reading. And I do personal readings, so if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I'd really be honored to do a reading for you. Okay, let's see what we have. Am I afraid to be seen? Am I afraid to be seen? Yeah, I feel like this is the main reason why we don't go our own way. We don't follow our bliss, our path, right? Because when we do, we're judged by other people in society. It's about stepping into that courage. You have the courage here, right? To know that your path is your path. Your path doesn't have to be like anybody else's path, right? In fact, if your path is like somebody else's path, then that's not your path, right? You're just following somebody else. It's about having the courage to step out of what your conditioning may have taught you. Your ego is trying to keep you safe, right? Keeping you in a box of what it is that you're meant to do. It's about, okay, but that's not making me happy. I think we're waking up to the fact that I've been following those Capricornian rules for 15 years and I'm not really happy with where things are. And it's kind of like, it doesn't mean that you don't like anything in your life, right? It's just kind of like, yeah, I don't have that sense of fulfillment, of pure joy, of happiness in my daily life. We're meant to be blissful. We're meant to have joy in our daily life. And it's understanding that your path is your path. Your path isn't like anybody else's, and really recognizing it takes a lot of courage to be able to do that, to step out, to say, okay, because when we step out and we're our authentic self, we rise up, we are shining, we become a leader, we inspire other people. And when we step into that, we also have a lot of critics that want to bring us back down. Okay, so let's see what this says. The world doesn't want you to hold back any longer. Time to shine your unique light on the world. You were made from love, and from love you are whole. There is no more hiding. There is no more shame. There is only truth. Live naked and free. What parts of me do I hide so I can be socially accepted and fit in? This is just so perfect. Am I being authentic? Do I allow myself to be all of me? What do I need to feel so I can, what do I need to feel so I can be safe to be seen? Yeah, asking yourself, what do I need so that I'll feel safe when I step out, when I follow my bliss, when I follow how the stars are aligned for me? Oh my gosh, Gemini, what it's, I know for some of you, it could be kind of overwhelming, right? When we allow ourselves to even go to think about what is my journey, right? What is my bliss? It sometimes is overwhelming because we have spent our entire life following the rules of our family, society, culture, whatever, right? In order to stay fitting in the box, in order to be socially accepted. And now you're being asked to have the courage to see that when you step out of that box, you will attract in other people that see the world the same way you do. But that's a scary transition, right? And that's why I think that this, watch and wait is a little bit about, it's not about throwing everything out at this time. It's really about your internal shift of looking for the joy in the things that you already have in your life before you decide to throw things out or move away from relationships or change a job or something like that. It's kind of like, okay, let me sit with this. Let me practice, because I think we haven't even practiced living by our hearts, right? Living, navigating with the stars, listening, following our bliss, right? We haven't even done that. And I think 2023, the rest of this year, is really just practicing that, listening. Hey, when I'm cooking this dinner, what am I feeling? Am I feeling rushed? Am I feeling overwhelmed? Am I starting to judge how mine looks compared to the cookbook? Your plate and the photo in the cookbook. Do I really want mine to look like that? Or do I want mine to be arranged on the plate in a different way? Do I want to add some different spices? It's understanding, okay, I don't have to follow the recipe even. I can tweak it and make it more, genuine to what I enjoy. Adding some maybe different ingredients or different spices that you enjoy. It's about understanding it's time to step out and start learning what is in the world that brings you bliss. All right, Gemini, I'm going to leave it there. That was a long one. Sorry about that. I just feel like there was a deep message here. And I do appreciate all of your support through liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I hope you have a great week. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.